Okay, it is episode 343 and it's a rapid recharge. And I'm just going to jump in. I'm doing something new. And last year I read this book called by Gay Hendricks called The Big Leap. And it is about, and I've talked about this a little bit, the fear and excitement is the same kind of chemical reaction in your body, but one you hold your breath and the other you breathe through it. Do you remember doing stuff like this? Do you remember? This is not me. I didn't have blonde hair as a kid. I remember loving to be spun. I don't think my mom ever spun me. I think my dad spun. We had cousins. They would get a leg and an arm sometime. It felt more like flying because one arm was sort of out front. But it is a complete release. It was fun. This was something that I was excited to do. If my cousins were doing this, I got in line. But I also think about how, for me, this is similar to amusement park. And when I was looking for images and things like that to try to visualize what I'm trying to teach you today, these things came to mind. Now, a Ferris wheel is not that scary. It's not that scary. But the first time you do anything, especially if you're afraid of heights, a Ferris wheel might also be scary. You know, they always have like the thing on whatever TV show. It always happens on the Ferris wheel, right? Like the Ferris wheel gets stuck, or I don't know, a piece of metal comes off of it and then it crumbles down or whatever. It's always the thing you wouldn't think of. But I love how it looks, right? It's beautiful. Lights up. Obviously, it's not going this fast. This is a time-lapse photo, I'm sure. But these are some of the things that I feel when I'm thinking about any kind of ride. Yeah, it's a really fast Ferris wheel for sure, Jose. But what I'm thinking is it's fun. I have excitement, not fear. There's anticipation. I don't think. I just act. I just jump in line with my cousins, or I just want, hey, spin me, right? There's also complete trust in the spin. There's also complete trust in the Ferris wheel or whatever. Nobody's getting on thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to die, right? You enjoy it, and then there's joy, and then there's happiness. There's also freedom. You also don't want, especially I think about a ride too, but like you get to a point where your cousin's like, I can't do this anymore, right? They can't hold your hands or your hand in your foot and spin because they're going to throw up, right? Because there isn't always an end. You're going to get through it, right? That you have expectations. I also think about the wind. Like, I just love wind. And I think, you feel it. You're breaking space, right? So you feel the wind. And I really feel kind of, if I'm in like a Ferris wheel or a swing or somebody's spinning me, there is some sort of peace, because again, there's nothing I'm doing. I'm just along for the ride, but I have to hold on. Then there's another set of emotions that I thought about as I was trying to think about some of the things that as I'm doing something new, I feel some of those. Oh my gosh, there's great anticipation. I'm excited. But then in the other side, there's a whole nother column, and I got to get in line. Once you get in line, the fear starts setting in. I get in line. I want to ride the ride. I don't want anybody thinking that I'm nervous, right? Because the longer you stay in the line, the longer you don't act, the longer the ride doesn't happen. You start thinking and you start getting nervous, and the record of failure can play. Hey, Steph. I get anxious. I don't know what to expect. I also get quiet in a line, and I become observant. When I'm doing something scary, also, I tend to get quiet. I sometimes feel like throwing up or peeing my pants. I didn't put that one in. I think I ran out of room. But you kind of get the idea. Maybe y'all have other feelings when you're waiting on it at an amusement park. But one of the things I think it does, it brings people together, people who don't usually go to an amusement park on their own, right? And they explore and they investigate. I think I put these in two different things, but we'll see. Let's see. Hello, why isn't this going forward? Okay. Oh, great. Balls of fire. So it brings people together. The next one is it creates places to explore. Hey, Alan, and investigate. Yes, totally takes me back to when I was a kid too, John. So, but then there's also the swing. You know, being a short kid, that was like the only ride I could ride. Like that and the thing, I don't know what, the Ferris wheel I usually could ride because you had an adult with you, right? And, but the swing was the thing that I always could ride. And it's like such a bummer, you know, but I still got the win. You got to kind of fly out, right? And this was something you did solely alone. So a lot of times when we're chasing something in business, we feel alone, but really there's a whole bunch of people around us, right? So you need to enjoy the alone time also and see what you're learning. So that introspection, but you're really never alone. If you just look around, I bet there's somebody else in a similar situation. You just have to look around. You have to look behind you, right? Make new friends. But then there's always the time that, okay, the girl on the left, not having that much fun right now. The girl on the right, or it's expressed in a different way, she is in fear. But look, her friend is holding her hand. She reached over. Her friend didn't reach over to try to hold her. It's the other, hers, she's still holding on. She's not like the two guys behind them with their arms up, right? They've done it before. So maybe the first time that you were or are doing something uncomfortable in your business, you feel like the girl on the left. And sometimes you might feel like the girl on the right. It might be like you're the same person. One day or an hour ago, you felt like that to person on the left, and now you feel like the girl on the right. Or sometimes you've been through it again before, you're the guy behind and you're like, let's do it again, but it's still uncomfortable. And there's still some unknowns, and it's good. There's a couple things I took from this photo. One, everyone is not afraid at the same time, but almost everyone, the first time they do it, they're afraid. So sometimes you need to be the cheerleader, but I love that this girl on the left is not hiding it, that she's afraid. She's screaming, she's holding on, but there's support from her friend. So sometimes you have to be the cheerleader. But what I don't want is for you to fake it. So I'm some days I wake up, woohoo, I'm the guy in the back, even though I haven't done it before. I'm just all in. And then sometimes I'm like the girl on the left. I'm scared to death, right? Just of the unknowing. And then there's people like this. They're like, oh, I mean, she's like slouching. Because the ride behind her, oh yeah, that's for kids, you know. But I also think you should never underestimate a ride. The reason is there's always a time and a place for every single ride you're on. And it's about your perspective and how you look at it. So there's certain times that you can't do certain things. And there's sometimes, so you think, oh, this ride, boring, but sometimes you need a rest, or sometimes you just need to have a conversation. Sometimes you just need to sit down and reflect, and while you're still spinning, right? So there's advantages to every ride. Don't underestimate them, for sure. For this one, it does not matter how long you've been doing it. You may still be afraid when you're doing something new. It doesn't matter about age. It doesn't matter about experience. Fear sets in, fear comes in. It's just because it's something new. But hold on, have a buddy, right? You can make it. So again, it's not dependent on age. You're never going to feel prepared, no matter how old or how experienced or how young. I just want you to know that everybody sort of feels like a fake and a fraud at times. I know that I've told you guys this before, but when I type superpower, a lot of times I type by accident superposer. Now, granted, the S and the W use the same finger, but I think it's like a underlying, oh, Diane, you're a superposer, right? So it's not, everything isn't always a fight, but it sometimes feels like it, right? You're fighting your way in line. You're fighting way to get seen. You're fighting for those clients. But look at her. She's in a stance. So she's taking the stand of saying, I'm going to learn boxing, or I'm going to exercise this way. And I don't think that it is a fight, what you're doing with clients or whatever. I think it's more of a dance. And the dance changes all the time, and nobody told us, right? The marketing changes all the time. We have to be fluid. We have to be able to, when the music changes, we have to be able to pivot. But I think that what we do is skill-based. So that means it's learned. And it also means it needs practice. So again, like the girl, she's taking her that's right stance, and you have to take the right position for your business or whatever, but you have to take a stand. You have to stand there and say, I'm going to do this. And then you have to move forward. She had to get in the ring. You have to have somebody help you into these gloves, right? Somebody has to tie them up, or the real ones, I guess. I mean, I don't know. We watch boxing sometimes. John likes it. Anyway, I like MMA, to be honest. But look at this guy, right? He's like, his mind is in it. He is focused in what, I don't think maybe he can get out of him. I don't know, because Velcro, who knows? This taking it on a whole nother thing. Didn't mean to go down that. But he is in the right mindset. He is getting in the right mindset before, you can tell, because he's not all sweaty yet, right? If this was after, he'd be all sweaty. This is a before. He's focused. He's visualizing what's going to happen. So I think getting in the right mindset is really important. And then look at this one. I mean, again, this is not age dependent, because the girl on the left looks a whole lot younger than the girl on the right. But it's about slow practice, taking one thing at a time. Sometimes it feels like we are being fire hosed with information. If you get on to YouTube and you just start learning, and it's like overwhelming of how to reach your clients, how to niche down, how to find out who those clients are, all those things, and then retaining them, all that stuff, that it just gets overwhelmed. But really, my friend RR said today, he said, well, I just try to do one thing at a time, one thing. And when you do one thing, I asked him, I said, well, how long till you feel like it's habit, until you move to the next thing? And he says it's different. It's different with each thing. But I thought that was a really nice way to kind of scaffold and see where, just try to attack one thing until you get it, right? It is like single tasking. Hey, Patricia. All right. So 2 to 3 weeks, Brian says, to form habits. I've heard 30 days, so a lot of times people do a 30-day project. Sometimes that's not long enough. You have to do 100 days, but really I think at about 50 days, you're in the pattern of doing it. But I think the first 15 can be really difficult. But again, it's about, for this, think about, it's just about doing the same move over and over. I don't think they're really fighting. It feels like the lighting is perfect. They're not sweating. This is like a photo shoot. And it's the same, I want you to do the same motion. And think about when people are practicing footwork, or they're practicing, even for boxing, they're just doing the same thing over and over because they want it to be second nature. So one move at a time, slowly at first. I wrote something else down. Slow down until you get the move. Don't worry about all the moves, just one at a time. And I think it gives you confidence when you do it like that also. But I want you to expect big things, expect big results, plan to make big moves. And I think that if you visualize, but you have to, this is the battle I'm in. I need to continually be visualizing that this is going to be successful. So I'm doing a summer camp this summer for y'all, for solopreneurs, business owners, for people who want to niche down, want to understand how to reach their audience, and want to retain those customers. And there's going to be mindset work within it. It's 25 teachers, speakers, whatever, right? And then 30 minutes a day, 5 days, for 5 weeks in July. So July is really big, where there is going to be community, there's going to be accountability. Anyway, it's called Creative Business Ignite. Super excited, but also scary for me to say it. Okay, here we go. I'll tell you more about it later, but I think I need to visualize it being successful, right? I got to have some dogs in there, right? Here we go. Patricia says, I'm always excited about on the outset and can do the two to 3 weeks to form the habit. It's the long-term maintenance she struggles with. That's why this group is, I agree. I think this group is great. So look at them. These dogs aren't like, oh, well, I'm just going to get my feet wet. No, you know what? You have to go all in. I was talking to my friend Dustin earlier today, and I was telling him, I'm like, there's no safety net. I've gone all in. If this thing doesn't work, I'm going to be hurting in June, right? But I am all in because I believe in it. And I think sometimes it's good to not have a net. It's good to say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and get all wet, right? I want you to dive all the way in, and I want you to just play hard, right? Go in, be ready to get a little scuffed up. I want to be exhausted by the end of July. Yeah, good way. Will says a good way to ensure plan A works is not to have a plan B. Amen, buddy. I'm right there with you. So I think we should have fun. We should go all in. We should get wet. We should get soaked, and we should commit. I also think I love Jack Russells, right? Jackson is a Jack Russell, maybe with a little rat terrier. John would not say that, but I do. And this is really about having somebody to do it along with you. I think it's really important. There's 2 reasons it's important. One, carry the load, right? But they're doing the same thing right with you. I think you should collaborate with somebody. Find somebody that's going to push you as they walk beside you, as they maybe help you carry that, or they are carrying their own right there with you. And then you're like, what? Okay, I get the dogs, I get the fighting, I get the little girl spinning. People dressed up as knights? What? Yeah, if you're listening to this, I'm so sorry. I did not tell you what we were looking at. So I'm so sorry. This will be on YouTube or it'll be at rechargingyou.com/343. I think you should be able to be uncomfortable. I think you need to role play. I think you need to find a new persona to become and see how they would attack that fear. Because I think sometimes when you embody that other person or that a warrior, these are knights in a battlefield, right? If you embody that feel, then maybe the fear person or the little devil Diane can be squashed because there's a warrior taking over now. So that one is stepping out of your comfort zone, go all in, take on a new persona. I challenged one of my students, Sarah, to do this. She was like, well, I like my logo. So they have a project with another professor, and that is to do a logo, a branding for themselves. And Sarah came to me and I was like, well, why don't you do something totally the opposite? Do your alter ego. And she's like, design a way you've never designed. Because I feel like that's what I did with one of the projects that we did last year as a unit, as a design recharge challenge, was we did the drink challenge. And I did physical collage. I had some weird parameters that I was setting on myself, had to limit the color. It had to be this physical collage, and I had to have legs in it, right? That was the one weird thing. And so when her alter ego, when she could design outside of the comfort of who Sarah was, Sarah fell in love with this new persona she had created. So I think there's 2 ways reasons to create a persona is 1, to battle that fear. And then 2 is to do something that you haven't ever done, design in a new way. Sometimes it's just about attacking a challenge from a new perspective. So how does that person, the new persona person, the warrior or the princess or the whatever, the frog, react to the same challenge, right? They might really be grateful for that. And I love this. Look how high her legs are. If you're not seeing this, this is the image that is the YouTube cover photo. This is the main image for this day, is her, because again, she's got her eyes focused. She is in pure joy, having fun. She's focused on who she trusts. She's not focusing on her hands. She's not focusing on if they're going to drop her. She's not focusing on, are my legs too close to that wall? Right? She's inside and completely, look, her legs are totally out. She's not worried about anything. She is having complete joy. So I think we should jump in. We should trust. For me, I am trusting. This is a project that I felt like God put on my heart back in 2016. And then my boss left, who I love, and he teaches at the University of Alabama now. And then I was chair for a year. And so everything kind of got on hold. And, sometimes I feel like we're released from things. We're released from projects, or we're released from people, right? Friends or relationships or whatever. But I never really felt released from this. There was, I had my sabbatical in there. I had to do a bunch of work at work for this. We had to do a program review. And I wrote 2 chapters in a book. I mean, it wasn't like I stopped, but I really felt last year that God was putting it really heavy on my heart to come back to this project, this Creative Business Ignite. And it is totally different. It's taken on it's much more focused. So if you have trouble refining who your audience is, niching down, this summer camp might be for you. If you have trouble understanding how to reach those refined audience, or who your audience is, you just want to know how to reach them better and have some marketing tips, tech marketing tips. We're going to talk SEO. We're going to talk accessibility. There's going to be some tech stuff, but then there's also going to be some mindset work. Just like for me today, this is a mindset work. I need to be reminded. I need to be encouraged. So there's going to be some motivation, some mindset, some things about pricing. There's going to be all kinds of things in there, because the other part is retaining those clients. So it's 3 R's and an M, right? So 1 R, 2 R, 3 R, refine, reach, retain, and then you turn those 3 fingers over and you get an M, because mindset's all the way through, smattered throughout. Okay, last one is, I think you need to find an example of somebody in history to look at how they did it. Look at how they didn't give up. To me, that's what design recharge is. I don't want something that somebody you can't relate to, somebody that's so high on a pedestal that you're like, oh, I'll never be like them. But maybe you can, they weren't like that. They didn't come out of the womb like that, right? But I also try to make it realistic, and it's always about hope. So maybe there's an example of somebody in history that you can pull from hope for, because they had hope in whatever they believed in. They trusted, and they enjoyed the ride. Maybe not totally enjoyment, but enjoyed most of it, I would say. There was trust, there was joy. Joy doesn't always mean happiness, right? And then I also think you need to find a present day person that's not in design, in a different industry, that you can look at and kind of mimic or relate, or find some commonalities of how you are within how did they niche down in their industry. It could be a mop company. I have no idea, but all those things. I love watching Shark Tank, or I love watching things like that when they talk to these owners of these businesses. These are not in my industry. More than likely, there's not usually designers. They all need design, right? The Prophet, D says. I don't know that show, so I'll have to check it out. But for me, it's funny, when I'm in the middle of a fear situation, I have, so Steph has the question of, How do you jump in when you're afraid of failure? So there's mindset blocks, complete mindset blocks, I believe. And I think you have to attack it just like the move. You have to attack it one at a time, because you can't attack everything at once. And sometimes I do something scary and then I wake up the next day and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this, right? So Steph, I totally hear you, but I think it's one step at a time. When we look at it as a huge wall we have to build, like the Great Wall of China, no bricks would ever get built, but it gets built one brick at a time. And we just have to focus on the one brick in front of us and getting it put in place. And when that one's in place, we move forward to the next brick. And I think if we scaffold it that way, it becomes less ominous, right? So to me, I don't even know where my phone is, but the Bible app on your phone. Well, maybe you don't, but there's a Bible app on your phone. Anyway, I've done 38 weeks. Haven't missed a day of. That's pretty good. I had not done that until started. My friend Mario is holding me accountable, coaching me on this. So I appreciate that. Little shout out to Mario. Him and I do have a new series coming out, and me and Rachel Nichols have a little series coming out. If I could ever get the editing done, Lord Jesus help me. Anyway, so funny that this week I am doing Faith of Our Fathers. I didn't pick this. I just randomly, but this is it. Faith of Our Fathers. A big plug out to whoever made this. I have no idea. I don't know. From the Preacher's Outline and Sermon Bible. But I still read it in the Message because I like the Message. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's like a present day version. They take some, what would you say, Will? Liberal, or I don't know. I love it because it's normal talk, right? Liberties, Anne says. Yes. Okay, so the first day was about Noah. Everybody thought Noah was crazy. He was building a boat. Nobody loved God except Noah, right? He's building a boat. He doesn't even live near the ocean. He's just doing what God told him, right? So people will think you're crazy. Number 2 day was about Abram. Well, God changed his name to Abraham. Anyway, I'm not great with Bible names, people. But anyway, so Abraham was like over 100, and he told him he was going to be a father of many. He hadn't had any kids. His wife's like 95, right? Or 90 or so, I don't know, right? Way past the age of producing children. But he just believed, right? So there was these doubts, but he believed. Well, and then the next day was about Sarah. Then it was about Joseph or Jacob, or I don't remember all the J names. They get confusing. I think it's Jacob. Anyway, it's all these people that just had faith that God had led them, that God was holding them and spinning them around, right? And he wasn't going to let them go. And that's where I have to be. Like, I believe it's just the way God works, is that he put that in the thing that I was going to do when I'm having these super big doubts of doing something scary. For me, this whole thing, I could have just had this idea, and I've talked about it. I've literally talked about it since 2016 to a few people. But now I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. And I haven't finished all of them, but I've made videos. One, I'm making a video to ask each person to do it. It's just really, it's 30 minutes. They're going to do a talk, right? Like what I've done, a talk for 20 minutes. And then they're going to have some question and answer with me. I'm going to interrupt them probably when I have questions. And then there will be something at night, one night a week. We're going to do question and answers where the community comes together. It's going to be a Facebook group so that we are going to attack this together. And these are little things, takeaways, actionable steps that you can do for your business that week. In the month of July, we are reforming another R. Hey, reforming, we are reframing our brain. Maybe that could be the other R, but I kind of like the M, but whatever, for mindset. But we are adjusting and making changes in small measures, right? One at a time that we could implement in the month of July, because usually the summer's kind of slow for us. Maybe not for everybody, right? But definitely slow for a lot of people. So, and Lord knows what this summer is going to be. So let's dig in. Let's learn from these experts. And we have experts like Christo, Dustin Lee, Melinda Livesey, Scotty Russell. Those are the people who've said yes so far. Anyway, so Matt says, oh, and this is going to be the little guy. Matt made him. I have digitized him. Oop. I don't know what his name is yet. Probably it'll start with an R since there's so many, but isn't he cute? He's in a power pose, people. So, hey, you know what, Steph? One thing you can do when you're afraid, sorry about the blurriness. You can literally, oh, maybe his name is Reggie. I like that, Naomi. Stand in a power pose for 5 minutes, 3 minutes. Stand with a pin, maybe not a big pin, but me and my friend Andre Gaggiano from Portugal, or from South Africa, but he lives in Portugal now. Stand, do this. Him and I both like these pins. That's why I said that. Put that in your mouth. That will also, these are all things that go into, in a way, tricking your brain, but it's tricking your body to not be so scared. So I hope this helped you guys. I totally big power there. It's a big pin, people. It's just a blue big pin. I buy them in boxes because they're super cheap, but I love them. I love the way they write. I think my mom always bought them. Oh, hey, yeah, Andre, you're here. Anyway, I just want to tell you thank you. We end up having 21 people. I just can't see them because I couldn't see over my deck. Hey, Amber. Thank you guys for coming. It's really going to be a rapid recharge today. I'm really trying to do better. I'd love to know what you think. It is scary for me to release the other content. Not that I don't think it's good. These people are amazing, but it's me in a different way. And I am trying some new things. If you think that the summer camp thing is like, it is important that we do this together. One video a day, except not on the weekends. We will have weekend time if you want. We'll try to, it'll be on a Saturday sometime that we could do, so anybody maybe in Europe could still be able to come. So it won't be late in the day. It'll probably be earlier in the day. But I just want us to be able to grow together and do this together. So there has to be some sort of component of community. So Naomi's still confused about what summer camp is, but walked away. So I'm going to try to, it is really about helping you reach your ideal client and retain those clients. So it's all those R's, and reframing your brain as you refine your audience, as you reach, there's going to be content creators that are coming on. They're going to be talking about things like that, things to make, things to change. Definitely need some arts and crafts. There will be some things like that, fun things that we could do that will be outside of the 5 days a week. But it is summer camp for your business. So I'm announcing it. It's literally happening. You can, the tickets will start going on sale June 1st. And it literally starts June 29th. So it's full 5 weeks, June 29th through all the end of July. Okay. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think. I'm here for you. And I clearly need to drink more water because my lips are all chapped. But I'm going to say goodbye. But thank you. And, oh, I always forget. So all these images that I got, just so you know, this is an affiliate link, right? I'm like affiliate. I should do a whole thing on affiliate, making some extra money on affiliate links, right? Oh, it starts on your birthday. Cameron, it's my dad's birthday too. All those images are from Envato. I don't know where pin's my other hand. I'll find the link really fast, but it's like $150 or it's under $200 a year, and it's unlimited images, music, After Effects. There's WordPress templates. There's all kinds of things, and that's just one of the things that is there. And I thought that was just an amazing when I was like, wait, I can use these professionally for sure. And I really did the reading because I was worried that it wasn't. To me, it was an unheard of deal. So if you're looking for excellent resource, one of the things that I really liked, it wasn't all white people. A lot of those today, maybe that one, well, I don't know, amusement parks. We need more people of color, but we did have an Asian girl. But I like that they weren't, a lot of the searches that I've done have not all been, and I really try to not have all white people in all the things that I do. So all the people that were in that, and there's different age groups, they have a good variety. To me, everything can always be better for sure, but they're always adding. You can buy illustrations there. But anyway, did I put it in? Oh yeah, bit.ly/Envato, all lowercase, ENVATO, capital D, capital R, and that's the design recharge. It's not like Dr. Envato. It's Envato Doctor, right? Well, whatever. Envato DR for design recharge. I do think it's hard to find good diversity photos in stock, and that you can download multiples and it doesn't matter because it's not going to cost your client anymore. And it's for the whole year. Anyway, when I found it, I was like, what? I was really, really happy. So feel free, use that link, Envato. For the Envato element subscription, it's bit.ly/Envato, ENVATO, capital D, capital R. All right. Oh, and Unsplash, yes, they do have, and that's free, right? Unsplash is free. Oh, you didn't know about I also have a Pinterest board that has a whole bunch of free ones because I'm always trying to find free stuff for my students. I do have a video also on how to use Google Images in the extra thing to search, because some clients are like, well, I really don't. And Unsplash or Pexels, PEXELS, that's on there. I think it's just either Little Bird or C. Diane Gibbs or something. I don't know. If you hunt for me on Pinterest, I'm there. Or you send me an email. Because anyway, I got your card. I love it. Thank you. And that moon stamp was awesome. So I'm going to cover over. I don't care if you see my address because I live in the boonies, people. And it's on my website. It's on every email you get, but whatever. Anyway, look what happens. So when I hold that down, heat it up, look what happens. The moon. Did you know they made cool stamps like that? But I did cover over Patricia's address so that nobody's going to write. I know. Super cool, wasn't it? I love that stamp. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for staying and supporting me. I appreciate your being here, and I love you, and I can't wait to tell you what the new topic is later in the month for the May 27th. That'll be the next community meeting, which means that we're just coming together and a lot of people are on screen. So thank you, David. I really appreciate it. All right. I'll talk to y'all later and have a great day. And we'll see you next week. Next week is Pim Her. If you don't know about her, man, she's a rocket in a tiny, tiny little body. She's really loves AIGA. She is going to talk to us about some strategies about negotiations. She's really has a ton of energy. I love what she talks about, and I can't wait to introduce her. We'll see you next week.